So I downloaded the Iron Contacts. I ran npm install, and now we're running the app. So I got it open in VS Code, and I'm gonna start editing. So what do I need? First thing first is iteration 1, display the contacts. So we got a thing called contacts.json. We need to import that somewhere and then show it. It's up to me, I guess, how the structure of my components goes. I think I'm just gonna make a component called contact list component, and I'm gonna put that in app.js, and I'm gonna put the contacts in there. So I'm gonna go in here, in source, new folder, components, in components, new file, contact, contact list.js, and in contact list.js we will import React from React class contact list extends React.component. Contact list. And in here we'll start with a render that just returns a div says hello. And I'm going to import that in app.js. I try to stay away from putting actual stuff in my app.js render function. I call this a view, even though it's not really the word for it. But you know, you get why I call it a view, because it's like that's what you see for that component. So I try to keep everything out of my app.js view and just show other components in here. And the reason is because we're going to do the router pretty soon. And when we do the router, that's what's going to go in app.js. So I like to set up the habit of not putting stuff in app.js. So here, you don't need the logo. We can import contact list from /component/contact list. And then here, I can render the contact list thingamajiggy. And we should get, it says hello. Perfect. Okay, so contact list is where I'm going to do all the stuff. And we're going to, eventually we would, 2 days from now, or sorry, on Saturday, we're going to start getting all the information in app.js and having the state there. But for now, we don't have a good reason to do that. So I'm going to just get it in here. So I'm going to say import blah from /contacts.json. So remember, you can name it whatever you want when you import it. The important part is the relative path. This is only true for JSON files because they do not have a default exported value. And what I mean by that is, see how at the bottom of this we say export default contact list? So here I have to import contact list. But the JSON file, JSON doesn't have that. It's just straight data. There's no export thing, majiggy. So here you get to call it whatever you want. But that's only because there's no exported default member thing.
When you export default, does it have to have the name of the class or whatever you want?
You have to export something in there. So here, if I export something, I could export this.
Oh, okay.
Hello. Wow. And then in here, contact list is equal to an object that says hello, wow. So there's no point in doing that. But so yeah, if there's an exported default thing, you got to match that name. But if there's not, like in a JSON file, you can name it whatever. So anyway, in here, I'm going to do a constructor. And remember, if you do a constructor, you got to put the props in there and do super props so that you don't abandon the React component constructor. And then what I want to do is set a state. And I want to hold the contacts in state. So this dot state equals an object. And what I want in the state is these contacts. List, colon, blah. Sorry, no semicolon. Now I'm just gonna, I guess I could just use React DevTools to look at this. Usually I console log stuff. If you want to console log things, and if you're like not comfortable using React DevTools, anything you want to console log it in the render function, because that happens anytime anything changes. Render happens more times than anything else. So if you don't know where to console log thing, you can always console log this.state in the render function. But you don't need to, because we also have React DevTools. So here we can see the state, but also if I do this, I can see my contact list state anyway. And we got all these lists. This.state.list is a bunch of these contacts. So what do we want to do? We want to show them. But we don't want to show all of them. We want to show only the first 5. So my list, let's not call it first. Let's not call it list. Let's call it first. Actually, no. Let's call it visible contacts. I'm going to have a thing in my list called visible contacts that's equal to blah.slice 0, 5. Sorry, 0. That should be 0. Because that is how you get, that's the easiest way to get the first 5 values out of an array. There's probably 1,000 ways to do it. You could do a loop in here in the constructor. You could do a for loop, and if the index is 5 or less, push it into the new array. You could do that. You could say this array equals the other array.filter, and if the index is less than 5, return true. You could do whatever you want, but this is probably the quickest, most straightforward way to do that. Then I'm going to go all contacts, and I'm going to have both lists in my state. So I got that way when well, let's just wait on that. You'll see why. That's not for iteration 1, that's for iteration 2. So for right now, all we need is the first 5, right? So here, I'm going to make a function called show contacts. And we will return this.state.visibleContacts.map each C. And for each C, we will return a div. Oh, what do they want? A table or something? Okay. Here in the render, we'll put a table. I forget how table works, but I'm pretty sure there's th. Is that right? Okay. And then I need TDs in there? Or T. It's what? There's a TR in here? Oh, because what this? The TH makes the. Hold on. HTML table. Okay, all right. We're just gonna. If you have to ask more than 5 questions, it's time to. Okay, so it's table, and then there's TR. Oh, okay. A bunch of THs in the TR, and then it's TDs in the TRs after that. Get it? I get it. Okay. So this is a TR, and in there we got THs, and the THs say name, picture, name, popularity. Picture, name, popularity. Okay. And then in here, what we return is not a div, but a TR with a bunch of TDs in there. And the TDs will say each C dot name. Well, actually, what do they even have? I don't know. Let's see. Literally name, picture, URL, and popularity. The only thing that's hard to remember is picture URL. Do that. Oh, it's picture first. Each C dot picture each C dot picture URL. Each C dot name, and then each C dot popularity. Okay, so far we have that. Now I got to call this function inside my table. So I got a table, and I got the first row filled, and then after that row, I'm going to call this function, because this function is going to return more rows. So the place to call it is inside the table where I want more rows. So this dot show contacts like that. Perfect. Okay. I don't actually want their image looking like this. What I want is an image tag of that. So here, I'm going to say image src equals, sorry, don't need quotes actually, just like that. And the image is too big, so I'm going to go ahead and style equals width 100 pixels. Okay. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There they are. Boom. So that's iteration 1. I guess they're not centered. Isn't that a thing? Class name equals app? Yeah, I thought, whatever. I don't care. Anyway, that's not the point. Okay, so we got the first 5. So now what we want to do is add a random contact. So I'm going to put a button, and when I click that button, what I want it to do is I want it to go in that JSON file and find a new random contact and add that to the list. So that's why I have this here. I'm going to have two of them. And actually, it's not going to be blah. It's going to be blah.slice5. That way, this is all of the contacts except the first 5, and this is only the first 5. And that way, my add random contact function is going to be pretty simple. What it's going to be is I'm going to go in here, I'm going to pick a random one, and I'm going to push it into here. And at the same time, I'm going to remove it from here. So real quick, let's take a moment to remember how the splice method works, because splice is pretty cool. Check this out. If you have an array, let array equal dog, cat, hyena, wolf. If you do array.splice, I don't know, 1, 1, and then you console log array, you're going to get what you think. It's going to remove cat. Cat's going to be gone. But maybe what you don't know is that if you do let blah equal array.splice, if you console log blah, what you get is just the thing that got removed in an array. So in other words, you can do this. If you have let other array equal this empty array, you can at the same time, very fancy, you can remove one from the array while putting it into the other. You can say other array dot push. What do I want to push? The result of the first array dot slice. So if you then console log array and console log other array, I accidentally pushed the actual array into the array. So if you do push dot 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 array dot splice 1, 1, then you get a very fancy way of in one line taking something from one array and putting it into another array while also removing it from that array. And this is exactly what we want to do. We want to transfer a thing from one array to the other array. So you can do it with 2 lines by doing dot splice and then also pushing it, but easier, it's cooler and more fancy. I'm going to do it in this thing right now. So here we're going to have a button up here. Button. Add random contact. And this button is going to have an onClick function. OnClick, and remember in React, onClick is camel case. And we'll say this dot add random. Okay? And remember, you don't put this afterward. You only put that afterward on a thing like this that's supposed to show stuff, that's supposed to continuously do a thing. If it actually changes information, the reason, basically you never put a function that has a set state inside of it with this in the render, because what happens, like for example, if you put in here, if you're like, yeah, this dot set state, I don't know, whatever, like that. Oh, hold on. There. If you do that, what happens is set state re-renders. Remember, the reason we do set state is because it calls the render function again. Well, if set state calls render, and then render calls this, and then that calls set state, and then set state calls render, and then render calls that, it goes, this is the infinite loop. Maximum depth exceeded. So just be careful of that. So anyway, going to make a function called add random. Add random equals function. And what we're going to do is say, okay, let visible equal this dot state dot visible contacts. Let others equal this dot state dot all contacts. That's what I called it, right? Yeah. And then we steal our line from Replit, this line. But we replace, what array do we want to push into? We want to push into visible. And where do we want to take it from? We want to take it from others. But we don't want 1, 1. So what we want to do is, before we do that, we want to say let random num equal math.random times this dot state dot, or you can even say others dot length. I forget how to do the random. Oh, math. Okay, math dot floor that. Right. Okay. And then you do random num comma 1. So when I click it, it's going to make 2 clones. It's going to get a random number between 0 and the length of that array. Well, 0 and 1 less than the length of the array. And then it's going to add in one line, take it out of this, splices it out of the others array. But since dot splice returns the values that were deleted, we can also push them into the other array at the same time. Okay, and let's even do let's do unshift so that we can see it at the top of the list. I think that'll work. Let's find out. Absolutely not. What happened? What happens? Let's see. Anything? Errors. Let's see. I forgot the key thing. Let's fix that. TR cannot appear as child of table. Oh, I need T body. Really? Okay. Table. T body. T body. Okay. What about that? Let me do the key thing, Majiggy. That's anytime you have that key error, just do Command F and look for map. That's where you need to do it. Here, index, whatever you return is a table row. Key equals index. Okay. Now, if I do this, nothing happens. Why? Let's see. Oh, right, of course. Good call. So I do all that stuff, and then I got to do this dot set state, and I got to say visible contacts is equal to visible, and then all contacts is equal to others. Okay, now that should work. Cool. And it'll never add the same one twice because we are deleting them at the same time. Coolsies. Okay. They even told you, don't forget to set state, cause it to re-render. Okay, then we want to sort them. Sort the contacts. So, by name and by popularity. So, I guess let's do by name first. So let's add another button. This dot sort by name. Sort by name. Okay? So we just got to make a function called sort by name. Sort by name equals function. And first step is a no-brainer. Let copy equal this dot state dot visible contacts. And then we got to do copy dot sort a comma b. And remember what I taught you about the sort function in module 1 is just start by setting up the structure. The structure is if something, return 1. Else, if something else, return -1. Else, return 0. That's always what it is. And now here, if we're sorting by, if A is an object and B is an object, then we go if A.name is greater than B.name, return -1. Else, if B.name is greater than A.name. And I don't know if the greater than or less than is correct or not because that's too much stuff for me to remember. So I just do it. And then if it does it the way that I want it to do it, I do it. And then if it did it the wrong way, then I just switch them, the signs. So let's check it out. So we do copy.sort. And then at the end, after we sort that array, we got to do this dot set state. And here we do visible contacts equal to copy. And people a lot of the time put a trailing comma, only in React though, only in React. All right, let's see. Sort by name. There it is. Emilia Clarke goes first, Leonardo DiCaprio last. What if we made it that if we clicked it again, that it switched it? Like sort it backwards by name. You know? No, just sort these the ones that are here by name, and then sort by popularity. But let's have it that if you can click it again and it switches it, you know, switch. It should be Leonardo first, right? I mean that's how usually it is on like. I've never seen a place where you can sort by price, high to low, but not low to high. You know what I mean? So we could do this. What do we do? In state, let's just add a thing called name ASC true. Okay, this stands for ascending. Name ASC true. So when we sort by name, we can go if this dot state dot what did I call it? Name ASC. If that, then do this. Else, do the opposite. This is I'm copying and pasting more than I need to. Really, you could put that if inside of here, but I guess that would be more fancy. But I feel like this is a lot easier to read, so I'm going to leave it like this for now. So we just switch this -1 to 1 and this to 1. And then at the end of the function, we do this dot visible contacts equals copy. And then we also do name ASC equals the opposite of name ASC. So we just toggle it. And that way, each time it'll do the opposite thing because that if will give a different thing. What? It says. What? Oh, sorry. Bang this dot state dot name ASC. So now it's like Emilia Clarke, Leonardo. Ooh, pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Okay. Then let's do by price. I mean, not by price. By popularity. They're not for sale, guys. They're not for sale. So by popularity is pretty much the same thing. So actually what I want to do is I want to do a cool thing. I want to make it the same function. I don't want to write the same function twice. I already am kind of uneasy about the fact that I have this whole block of code written twice. So let's call this sort by something. And let's have this be what to sort by. What to sort by. Okay? That means that when we click on, here, let me add a button. This one is going to be sort by something. This one's also going to be sort by something, but we need to pass them arguments because I want it to be like, I want to pass the word name, and then I want to pass the word popularity and have it work either way. So in React, this is something you just got to memorize. If you want to pass an argument to a function that's on click, you got to do this. Parentheses, fat arrow, curly brace, put the name of the function in the curly brace, and then you can pass an argument. So you're calling an anonymous function that calls your function with an argument. Okay? So then, what we do is, all we got to do is change where it says .name. Instead of .name, everywhere where it says .name, we change it to bracket what to sort by. What to sort by. And then the only thing we got to change is this thing. We have to come up with a new solution because I want it to switch it back and forth with the popularity or the name. Let's see how it works right now. Let's see. Let's see if it says sort by name. Hold on, let me fix that. It should say sort by popularity. Eight, 11, yeah, okay, that works. Wait, no, it doesn't. Oh, I know why. It's sorting them by popularity as popularity is a string. Okay. Interesting. What do I do? What? I need to turn these things into numbers if they're a number. If this is popularity, then this needs to be a number. At this point, I'm making two separate functions, though. No, they get sent through as a. Well, let's see. Hold on. By popularity. Yeah, because 8, this is the highest popularity because it starts with 8. And then we got 112, 116, 15 is... Wait, what? I don't understand, actually. Hold on. Okay, let's do this. Console log, A bracket, what to sort by, B, what to sort by. Let's do that. They look like numbers. Console log, type of. Oh, they're numbers. Oh wait, okay, but hold on. That's in the right order. That's not in the right order. This way works. What? Oh, thank you. There it is. Because if you do a dot, then it literally looks, it thinks that there's a key called what to sort by, because you can, because this is the only, this time right here when you do a dot is the only time that JavaScript supports bare words. It's like a bare word. It's looking for, you're allowed to, if you do a dot what to sort by equals 10, then you just created a new thing called what to sort by in that object. Yeah, this becomes a variable this way. So if this is popularity, then it's a bracket popularity. Okay, I have faith now. 8, 6, there we go. Okay, cool. Okay, can we make it fancier? Can we not have this twice? I'm sure we can. Let's see, okay. Let's also change this from name ASC. Let's just call it ASC because there's no, it's not specific to name anymore, so it's not a good name to call it name ASC. Now, can we take away this whole thing copied? I'm sure we can. So we can do it if this and this .state.asc return 1. Whatever. It's good. It's good like this. It's fine. We'll leave it. So now we need to remove contacts. So the delete button, where do I put the delete button? Where should I put it? In the TD. Where's the TD? Yeah, exactly. I got to put it in this function. This function shows each contact, and if I want the thing to show up next to each contact, I got to put in this function. So back to our show contacts here. We got this, we got that, and next to each one we need a delete. So I guess we add a thing called action to our table. So down here, th action, okay? And then here we add another td, and in here we put a button, and the button says delete. But more importantly, button's going to have an onClick function. OnClick equals this dot delete contact. So let's go make a function called delete contact. And we're going to do let copy equal this state visible contacts. And then what do we want to do? We want to delete one, right? So we're going to use splice, but for splice I need to know the index. So how do I figure out the index? Yeah, so the same way that I passed in arguments here, what I need to do is when I call the function, I got to pass in an argument. So where'd it go? Here. Here I have to pass in an argument. So I need to do this. And then what am I going to pass in here? Index, because I already have it. It's right here. It's generated automatically in a .map function. So now, in the delete contact, copy.splice. Oh, here, we need the argument. The one to delete. Copy.splice. The one to delete, comma 1. And then this dot set state. Visible contacts. Copy. What? Oh, I know what I did. In my sorting thingamajiggy, I have a typo. There it is. Okay, so we can delete these. We can add some randos. We can sort by name, Al Pacino, Robert Downey Jr., sort by popularity. Delete them. Add randoms. No, when you delete them, you never get them back. Mark Wahlberg's gone forever. Okay, that's pretty much it, right? There's nothing else. Yeah, styling is the bonus. Cool. Okay.